Hello, hi everybody. Welcome to this week's Traders Club. My name is Gerald. Okay, today 4th of August. All right. Right. STI basically, as we mentioned last week, broken down of the multiple support levels. So yeah, it has fallen much lower. Okay, but the last line of defense, as I've mentioned, was the gap support. Yeah, so it's exactly between the 2489 and 2477, and indeed after yesterday's low of 2478, it bounced off today, yeah, with a bullish harami. So yeah, there'll be some testing of support here. There may be some bullish technical rebound, yeah, of this gap support. Okay, but technically this gap support is closed up, yeah, so which means there'll be no longer this gap support, whichever happens, yeah. Okay, so but do not be too overly bullish on STI, right? Because as you can see, the 20 MA, the red line, is now below the 50 MA. Okay, so it's more of a bearish sentiment as far as STI is concerned. Okay, now even if there's any technical bounce, I'll be watching the how this 20 and 50 MA meets the price. Yeah, so what I meant is if there's any bounce, all right, the 20 MA will be falling, the 50 MA as well. So we want to see if there's any rejection, right, any resistance, right, along this level. Okay, so yeah, there may be some technical bounce. Okay, but if there isn't and it breaks lower, then I think the next minor support that we could be looking at is 2375. Yeah, form over here in April. Okay, so let's hope this gap support holds, right, and then we see how it challenges the moving average resistances. Right, so as far as STI is concerned, not looking good. Yeah, not looking good. Okay, but the funny thing is, for these past few months during this pandemic, when we buy stocks, you can see the stock market is not uniform. So it's not every stock bullish, all the stocks bearish. Yeah, there are certain stocks that are unlike the general market. Yeah, so as we talk about the electronic stocks, yeah, of course some of those stocks like Sheng Siong, Keppel DC, Wilmar, right? So these stocks continue to trend higher. Okay, so which means those already in position, yeah, you should continue to hold on to them, trail it. Yeah? For those who are not in yet, know where to look for the next entry. Okay, so there's not much new opportunities as of now, yeah, because those stocks that came down broke support. Those stocks that went up, they have not come down to test support yet. Okay, but I'll just highlight through those stocks and also to review some of those stocks that some of you are already in based on the past signal. Okay, so very quickly, yeah, I think Wilmar. Okay, so Wilmar, right, continue to search further. Yeah, so the original signal was in June, yeah, as we mentioned many times already. So you could have been in the trade, yeah, even if you had not been in the trade. All right, we talk about the waiting for the pullback. Yeah, but if the pullback, for such case, yeah, Wilmar, there isn't any pullback at all. Right, there isn't any pullback. So for those who wanted to take the trade, you may have missed the original one. Then yeah, you gotta wait for the next one. So not sure when, because it goes higher and higher. Keep watching out for the 20 and 50 MA as a potential pullback support. Okay, now next one, AEM, right, the electronic stocks. Wow, today gap up, continue. Right, so again, yeah, we are all waiting for the pullback. For those who didn't take the trade previously on the breakout or the original 481 green MACD signal over here. Okay, those who didn't take the trade here or didn't take the trade on the breakout of the 337, 338, yeah, we were saying wait for the pullback to the moving average. Okay, but I guess it didn't pull back enough. It just continue rallying. So those who are in the trade, yeah, congrats, continue to hold on to it. Those who are not yet, do not chase, please. Yeah, so watch it. The price may pull back to test the 20 and 50 MA support. Okay. Okay, but I guess some of you will have caught UMS because UMS did a more gradual pullback, right? So you could have caught it back then in mid of July. Okay, so yes, so together with stocks like AEM, Venture, right, they continue to trend higher. So those who caught it, yeah, congrats, you could be holding on for more profit, right, for UMS. Okay, just a recap where you could have caught the trade, right, it's over here. Okay, so 20 MA support. So can you imagine the price went up here? Yeah, so we say wait for the pullback to support. Yeah, this is exactly what we mean by support. Yeah, so these are the days that the price trades on the 20 and 50 MA support, but we look for the MACD green, right, after a series of red, at least 4 continuous or consecutive red bars, and then there's a green. Yeah, so you could have taken the trade on the next day on market's confirmation. Yeah, so you could be in at 92 cents. All right. Okay, so you're sitting on quite a decent profit. Yeah, about 12-13%. All right. Okay, so that's UMS. So again, if you miss it, then wait for the pullback, right? So by then the 20 and 50 MA will be coming up. Okay, avoid chasing it. If not, you're buying at a high again. All right. IP. Okay, so IP, same thing. For those who missed it previously, right over here, you can see the MACD signal here. Right, if you miss it, again, waited for pullback, it didn't come. So it's still not at a pullback. Yeah, so we need it to at least touch the 20 MA. So it hasn't yet. So continue to watch, continue to wait. Right. Okay, Venture. Okay, Venture as well. The Venture continue. So for Venture, the first signal was around May. Yeah, over here, May, and then there was one in also June. Right, over here. Okay, then after that, it starts to trade further. There's one in early July. Okay, but after that, there isn't much of a decent pullback. So for those of you who are in, you should continue to hold. Yeah, so as the market continues to trend further. Yeah, so all these stocks that we are talking about, they are going against what STI is doing. Yeah, so basically means that very specific sectors, yeah, specific stocks are attracting the market's attention. The rest, I think the market is just ignoring or selling down. Okay, so for Venture, again, do not chase. Wait for the pullback, right? Wait for the 20 and pullback towards the 20 and 50 MA support. And for those who are still holding, continue. Who already entered, continue to hold. Okay, Venture, all right. Franken as well, right? Just to mention. Okay, so Franken, the only signal back then was in late May, early June. Other than that, there is not much of a trading opportunity. Yeah, so we hardly talk about that. So by any case, if you're watching it, same process, same step, same trading setup. Wait for the pullback. Okay. Okay. Previously we talked about Keppel DC REIT. Yeah. It made historical high. Remember, we had that. Right, it made historical high when it broke past the $2, I think $2.50, 53. Yeah, so when it broke past that, we're talking of the opportunity. Okay, when it pulls back down to the support. Yeah, so at that time, yeah, you look at the past video. This was talked about. You see, it pulls back to the 20 MA support. Yeah, and then if you look down at that time, it's 3 red, then there's a 4 red, and finally the green appeared. So the entry will have been around 264 if you wanted to take the trade, because that's what we call the market's confirmation. Yeah, so you could have gone in back then in late July. Yeah, this will be 264. Yeah, so this is where you are now, and you got some dividend as you are still holding. Okay, so those who got in, okay, congrats, right? But for those who are not, again, don't chase it. Wait for pullback. Okay. So when I draw an arrow like that, I'm not saying it will come down. I'm just saying it's only worth to look at it again if it does come down. It may not happen like that. Yeah, it may happen such that the 20 MA continue to run up, right? And then the price languish and wait for the MAs to catch up. Okay, so either way, wait for the price to visit the 20 and 50 MA. Right, before you look for the MACD signal. Okay, not forgetting the supermarket, right? Same thing. Talk about. Right, so today it continues to rally after the bullish flag breakout. Okay, but in any case, right? So the first one, look back at the May-June video, we keep talking about Sheng Siong waiting for the breakout. Right? At that time, there was this historical high resistance at around 156, 157, 158. It was at a historical high at that time. Yeah, so wait for the breakout. The breakout finally did happen. Right, so those who miss it, we say, well, wait for pullback. Yeah, like what I just mentioned for the other stocks. So the pullback did come, right, for Sheng Siong back then in around mid of July, if I remember correctly. Yeah, around mid of July. Can you see it comes down to the support? Right, so this is where you start looking for MACD signal, which happens here. There's this green, isn't it? Green after a consecutive 4 rates. Yeah, so the entry will have been around 165, right, as a confirmation. Yeah, and subsequently, it didn't hit. Yeah, it waited for about 2 weeks plus, but on this day, okay, on this day, the trade will have been in. Okay, notice that when the price didn't hit 165, it comes down. We are still watching it because it's still between the 20 and 50 MA, isn't it? It's still at the support level. All right, so when it comes up to 165, you have gotten in on the trade. Okay, so that's where, yeah, today continue to extend on its rally. So if you've gone in there, you'll be about up about 8%. If you've gone in on a breakout back then in June, right, you'll be up about 12, 13%. Okay, so continue to hold on to these stocks. They are at historical high. So usually stocks at historical high tends to continue to go higher first, right, before any sharp correction. All right. Okay, so that is Sheng Siong. Okay, not forgetting the Mapletree. All right, so Mapletree, okay, definitely not Mapletree Com, right? As you can see, it's now turned opposite downtrend. Can you see 20 MA is below 50 MA. So avoid stocks like that. Yeah, watch out for stocks like this Mapletree Industrial. Yeah, so this is one that we talked about previously, back then in mid-July. There were quite a few trading opportunities for Mapletree Industrial, right? So there's one here, right, previously, then there's one here. So this is the one that, yeah, I believe several Mapletree lovers, yeah, you have gone in on this stock. Okay, so same thing, testing the support level and MACD green after a series of red. Okay, so the entry will have been 297 because the high was 296. Yeah, on this day where is the green, the high was 296. So you're waiting for 297. So which is the next day. You have gone in on the trade and of course hold on to it as it continues to trend further. Okay, another one would be Mapletree Logistic. Okay, so Mapletree Logistic, yeah, there was a signal as early as May, June, then it comes to over here. Oh, no more. Yeah, so May and June. So you should have been holding on, and after that, wait for pullback. So it's still above the MA, so it's pretty near. So wait for it, see whether it comes down to test the support again for your other opportunity to enter. Yeah, something like this, a pullback. Something like this, a pullback. Okay. Right. So this the stocks. Then of course last week we did mention yen lot. Okay. So same thing. You see yen lot when it goes up, right? You wait for the pullback. So this is what we meant by pullback. And when it did happen, so last week we were talking about it because the green finally appeared. Right. So the high is 123. So you're basically looking for 124 at least to hit. Then you could be taking the trade. Okay. So the thing is for the past 1 week. All right, 124 was not hit until only today. Can you see? Today, 124. For those who have watched the video last week, today you could have taken the trade. Okay, so of course, for those who didn't enter the trade yet, you could still take the trade if it comes back to 124, isn't it? All right, so stop loss, please set it below the 50 MA. Okay, so this is where your cut loss level would be. Okay, so for those who went in on yen lot today, this is your cut loss. For those who have not gone in yet, right, the entry price was 124. So you could technically still be looking at the trade if you can come back to 124. Right, today it closed lower, closed at 122. Okay, so that is yen lot. Okay, previous weeks we were talking about SIA as well, but not so much to buy, but it's more for shorting. Yeah, so the shorting signal was over here. Okay, so shorting is the opposite of buying, right? So you're waiting for one red after a series of green. Yeah, so this is the place where the shorting happens from about 378 down all the way to 330. In fact, today it went down even to 319. Yeah, 319, 320. All right, so this is the opposite. So these are shorting. So stocks like this, I mean, if you do not like to short, then you should avoid these stocks like that. Yeah, downtrend, 20 MA below 50 MA. So these are downtrend stocks. Similarly, we talked about Singtel previously, which is also downtrend. Yeah, so avoid buying stocks like that. If you want, you should be shorting it. StarHub as well, right? Despite all these 5G 5G thingy going on, yeah, but I think the market is not very hopeful on stocks like that. So the trend continues to be down. So avoid buying them. Okay, so yeah. So the good news is the uptrending stocks continue to go uptrend. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one more. Ascendant Street, very popular among the community as well. So Ascendant Street, historical high, continues to go higher. Yeah, previously, of course, the signal was here in June, right? And of course, subsequently waiting for pullback. Even there was a pullback, but there was not much of a signal to trade. Okay, so you can just wait for the pullback, the 20 and 50 MA. Right? Okay, so this strategy that we have been sharing, right, over the years, if you're new here to this video, right, this technique is something that we try to repeat again and again. So at least we are consistent in our entry, right? So this, the beautiful thing about this strategy is that you will not buy a stock that is falling. You will not buy a stock that the market doesn't like. You're buying a stock that the market is actively participating in it. Yeah, so that's the reason why you're able to catch stocks like AEM, Wilmar, Venture, Sheng Siong, yeah, because the market has been buying it. Yeah, so the market the trend doesn't change suddenly. Usually they continue first. Okay, right. So yeah, so stick to the plan. You will basically be focusing on those stocks, on the correct stocks per se, right? And then you should be more fine than not. And of course, there are times that we need to cut loss, like the banks. Yeah, we did talk about the banks, and the banks will you need to cut loss, right? Because at that time there was some signal, but once the cut loss is hit, that's where we need to exit. Yeah, so for the banks, can you see now they are basically trading below the support already. Yeah, below the 20 and 50 MA. So not very bullish at all. Yeah, OCBC as well, below the moving average. So all this you will have a small loss, cut them, right? Those that are continue to trend higher, continue to hold them, and you'll still be profitable overall. Yeah, so you can see when all the banks, they are now going below the moving average. So it's not a sign of an uptrending stock anymore. Okay, so continue to look out for stocks like this, and yeah, always wait patiently for the right opportunity, right, at the support level. All right. Okay, so yeah, so let's watch out further next week and see whether STI can continue to hold on to the gap support, right? And we shall share more trading opportunities going forward. Yeah. Give this video a like and share this with your friends, and we'll see you again soon. Trade safely.